Melissa Gilbert's life began in a hospital in Los Angeles, but she wouldn't stay there long. Just one day after her birth, she was handed over to another family. Her biological parents, overwhelmed and unable to support another child, gave her up. She was the seventh child in a complicated blended family, and never spent even one full night with the people who brought her into the world. That early separation left a quiet wound that would echo throughout her life. She was adopted by Paul Gilbert, a television actor and comedian, and Barbara Crane, a dancer and actress. From the outside, it might have looked like a Hollywood fairy tale, adopted into a showbiz family, surrounded by talent and opportunity. But behind the glamour, Melissa always carried the weight of not knowing why she'd been given away. That confusion and longing never completely left her, even as her life appeared to move in exciting directions. Her father, Paul Gilbert, became her rock. He was loving, supportive, and made her feel wanted. But the security he gave her didn't last. When Melissa was just 11, she was told that her father had died from a stroke. It was only much later, when she was an adult, that she learned the truth. He had taken his own life. Paul had suffered from chronic pain, injuries that never healed from his time as a World War II fighter pilot. The truth was hidden from her for decades, and when it finally came out, it broke her. She hired a private investigator, needing to understand why the one person who had made her feel safe was suddenly gone. Even with that heartbreak, Melissa grew up in a world most kids could only dream of. Her family was deeply connected in the entertainment industry. Her grandfather, Harry Crane, helped create The Honeymooners, and worked with legends like Dean Martin. Her mother, Barbara, was also a part of the showbiz scene, and their home was full of scripts, television sets, and the everyday chaos of Hollywood. In 1967, Paul and Barbara adopted another child, Jonathan. After the couple divorced, Barbara had another daughter named Sarah with her new husband. All three children would go on to become TV stars, and the family's show business roots only grew deeper. Melissa didn't waste any time stepping into the spotlight. By the age of 5, she was already appearing in commercials, and one of her early ads for Alpo dog food even featured Lorne Greene. It was clear that she had a natural charm that came across easily on camera. But her life changed completely when she auditioned for the role of Laura Ingalls in a new NBC show. She was 9 years old and went into the audition without any expectations. She didn't know who Michael Landon was. She hadn't seen Bonanza. That innocence may have worked in her favor, because when she auditioned with Landon himself, something clicked. He didn't just see a child actor. He saw someone who could carry the heart of the show. Melissa didn't find out she'd been chosen in a traditional way. It was Michael Landon's real daughter, Leslie, who told her at school, "My dad picked you." That sentence changed her life. The pilot for Little House on the Prairie was filmed in 1973. When it aired, it drew in over 17 million viewers. But there was a long wait before the series was picked up. When it finally premiered as a full show, it became a national hit, pulling in over 20 million viewers weekly. Melissa was just 10 years old, but she was already a household name. The final test for the role had been an emotional scene where she had to say goodbye to her dog, and she did it so authentically that Michael Landon was moved to tears. That emotional honesty became her trademark on the show. From age 10 to 19, Melissa grew up on television. Audiences watched her grow, lose baby teeth, hit puberty, and navigate the messy in-between years of adolescence, all while playing Laura Ingalls. She wasn't just acting. She was aging in front of millions of people. Life on set was demanding. The cast, especially the kids, had to balance school with filming. Tutors were brought in, and the actors would study in between takes. Still, the long days and emotional scenes bonded them as a kind of second family. Even with the demanding schedule, Melissa took on roles outside the series. At 15, she played Helen Keller in The Miracle Worker, earning an Emmy nomination. She also starred as Anne Frank in another production. These roles showed that she was more than just Laura Ingalls. She had range, grit, and a deep emotional core that audiences connected with. But the lines between her and Laura started to blur. The character wasn't just someone she played, it was someone she lived as. Laura's struggles and values seeped into Melissa's identity. For years, she was defined by that role, and it became hard to separate where Laura ended and Melissa began. Things shifted dramatically when Dean Butler was cast as Almanzo Wilder, Laura's love interest. Melissa was just 15 years old. Dean was 23. The 8-year gap was hard to ignore, especially for a family show airing in prime time. Melissa felt awkward and scared. She had wanted someone closer to her own age. Instead, she was put in a position where she had to perform romantic scenes with a grown man. Her first on-screen kiss with Butler was also her first real kiss, filmed in front of a large crew and her mother, who cried during the scene. Melissa begged Landon to change the storyline, to take out the romantic parts, but he wouldn't. The show had to move forward. The audience had mixed feelings. Some fans were excited to see Laura fall in love, while others were shocked. Letters came in criticizing the decision. Even Dean Butler later said that the casting wouldn't be acceptable today. Despite all the controversy, the episode featuring the kiss was a massive success. It topped the ratings and won awards. But for Melissa, it wasn't a happy memory. It was a moment of being forced to grow up too fast, in front of the world. Off-screen, her personal life was full of chaos. Behind the sweet, wholesome image of Laura Ingalls was a teenager struggling with pressure, identity, and pain. She started drinking young and eventually turned to drugs like cocaine. She would later admit to drinking 2 bottles of wine a night. The drinking and drug use weren't about partying. They were a way to numb everything. The fame, the expectations, the trauma of her childhood, all of it built up, and she felt like she was drowning. Her addiction didn't just affect her. It affected the people around her. Relationships fell apart. Her parenting suffered. The moment that forced her to face reality came from her son, who asked her to stop drinking. That broke her heart. She joined Alcoholics Anonymous, where she found comfort in hearing other people's stories and finally began healing. But her troubles weren't over. In the early 90s, Melissa had a disturbing audition for Oliver Stone's film, The Doors. She believed it was meant to humiliate her. According to her, Stone gave her a degrading scene as revenge for a past comment she had made about him. The audition took place with just Stone, another actor, and Melissa. She left in tears, shaken and angry. Stone denied any wrongdoing, but the damage was done. Melissa never forgot how small and powerless she felt that day. Her romantic life also brought pain. She married Beau Brinkman after a fast and passionate relationship. But the marriage quickly turned into a nightmare. Brinkman was emotionally abusive, drank heavily, and cheated repeatedly. One of the worst betrayals came shortly after Melissa gave birth to their son. She discovered Brinkman having sex with another woman, later revealed to be a sex worker, on their couch. She had just returned home from the hospital after a C-section. When she confronted him, he blamed her for not being available. Melissa was devastated. That moment was a breaking point in their already crumbling relationship. Still, through all of the heartache, Melissa kept moving forward. Her life is a mix of fame and loss, triumph and trauma. She has spoken openly about her experiences in her memoir, laying bare the darker side of child stardom and the entertainment industry. The painful romance storyline on Little House, her struggles with addiction, her toxic marriage, and the humiliating audition. All of it paints a much different picture than the one audiences saw on their screens. Her story is not just about fame. It's about what happens when a child is asked to carry the weight of an entire nation's love and expectations, all while dealing with personal wounds that never fully healed. Today, Melissa is using her voice to talk about those hard truths. She speaks out about addiction, the pressure on young actors, and the importance of creating safer spaces for children in entertainment. Melissa Gilbert's life is not a fairy tale, but it is real. It's raw. It shows what can happen when someone is constantly pushed into the spotlight, expected to smile, and carry on no matter what. But it also shows what healing can look like. Through the heartbreak and the hard lessons, Melissa has shown that it's possible to reclaim your story. If you found Melissa's story as moving and powerful as many others have, share your thoughts below. Make sure to subscribe for more untold stories from the people you thought you knew. And if you want to hear more about the real lives behind the TV icons, stay tuned. Your support helps bring more of these stories to life.